back to Baking with Sweetness. My name is Liam, but all of my friends and family call me Sweetness. And in today's video, we will be making homemade, delicious, buttery biscuits. These biscuits are so good, and we all know that we all love those canned tubed biscuits. But these are homemade, so it'll give you a little bit more bragging rights, and they're so much better. So let's get into the video. Okay, so the first step into making homemade biscuits is you're going to take some Crisco, and you're just going to want to grease your cast iron skillet just so there's a little bit so the biscuits don't stick. You just want a nice light coating of that. And Crisco is kind of like a butter, almost like a fat, and it's perfect for this. So you're just going to want to grease this up. Okay, once that's done, you don't need too much. You're going to take a flour bowl. So a flour bowl is basically just you take a big bowl and you fill it up with self-rising flour. And we're not going to use all this flour. We're just going to pour the ingredients into this bowl, and we're just going to gradually add in the flour with our fingers until it's formed. And we might use a cup of flour, 2 cups. It's all that doesn't really matter. So we're just going to take about 1.5 cups of buttermilk and pour that in. Okay, and then we're going to take the rest of our Crisco, which is about 4 tablespoons, and we're just going to break it in half. And once that's done, you're just going to drop it in, and you're going to start breaking up the Crisco with your hands. And you're not adding any flour into the mixture yet. You're just going to want to break this up into small little pieces and try to incorporate it with the buttermilk. And your hands are going to get a little dirty during this process, but it's okay. So once you're breaking this up, you're just going to continue to do that until it's in a bunch of small chunks. You can see it's in all these chunks. And once that's done, you're going to start taking your finger and going around the edges just to add a little bit of flour into the mixture. And once you add the flour in, you're just going to turn it and continue to squish the Crisco as well. And you're just going to continue to add flour into the buttermilk and Crisco. So I think a flour bowl is kind of cool because you keep the flour that's in the bowl. Like you don't take it out to put it back in the bag or into a holder. You're just going to keep it in there. So you can make these whenever you want as long as you have the flour. So we're just going to continue to add this. It's going to be a really, really sticky dough, but we're just going to continue to do this until it's nice and firm. And you can see that it's already getting nice and firm. So we're just going to continue to do that. You'll know it's done when it starts to hold its shape. Okay, and you're just going to keep adding around the edges and folding it into itself and turning it and twisting it. And you'll feel the Crisco chunks in there, but that's okay. That's what you want. And you're going to continue to do that. And if it's really, really sticky and wet, that's okay. Okay, you're going to continue to do that. And we're just about there. Throw a little bit more flour on there. And so this recipe does not take much time at all. And they're not that complicated of ingredients. So you can see that it's just about, it's holding its shape pretty well. So what we're going to do is you're just going to try to get this off your fingers. And you're just going to pull it off. And then we're going to take our cutting board here. And we could just move this out of the way. And we're going to sprinkle it with some flour. And you can just spread that out. You're going to make sure that you get it all the way around because it's a very, very sticky dough. So we're just going to do that. And then we're going to take out the dough, put it on the board. Okay. And then we're going to take a little bit more flour and just sprinkle it on top so it doesn't stick to our hands even more. And then you're going to sprinkle your hands with flour. Again, your hands are probably going to get really, really battery, but that's okay. Just pull it off. Okay, once your hands are floured, you're going to want to spread this out to about a little less than 1/2 inch thick. And you don't have to do any measurements or anything, just eyeball it until you think it's about right. You can add more flour to your hands and a little bit more flour to the dough, wherever you think needs it. And so you're just going to pat that down. Use your hand, you don't have to use a rolling pin. Okay, and once you think it's about there, you're going to take You can use a biscuit cutter or you can just use a glass. I have a glass here. And you're just gonna put a little flour on it, just so it doesn't stick that much. Okay, and then you're just gonna cut out some circles. And you're gonna twist it, and then you're gonna peel off the excess, and then you have a biscuit. And then you're just gonna go ahead and put that straight into the cast iron skillet. Okay, and you're just gonna do that until you fill up the cast iron skillet. So we're just gonna do that a few more times here. You can see that they're nice biscuits, and they're gonna be flat now, but since we're using self-rising flour, they're gonna swell up a bunch. So we're just gonna continue to do that. And you can see that you can make a good amount of biscuits with this. And you're gonna have some excess dough, so you can flatten that back out, or you can make something else with it. I like to make just more biscuits, because the more the merrier. So we just fill up our tray, just about there. Okay, and then once you're done filling up your tray, you're gonna wanna preheat your oven to 500 degrees and bake it for about 8 minutes, just until it's nice and golden brown. You might have to do more, might have to do less, depends on how fast your oven cooks. And so I'm gonna go bake these and I'll be right back. Okay, so about 8 minutes in the oven, we have them golden brown and they're just cool to the touch. So that's time for the best part. They're really good. They're buttery and flaky and they're so good. When we eat biscuits, we like to eat them with jelly, jams, apple butter, pumpkin butter, but our favorite is honey from our backyard. We have bees and we raise bees and we have their honey. It's just so, so good. And I'm even trying to convince my dad to make some barbecue chicken biscuit sliders tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time.